I'm making a quick video showing you how to fix your Hiby player if the touchscreen randomly stops working. The first thing you have to do is you have to go to the Hiby website. You download a firmware for your player. It doesn't have to be the newest one. It can be the one you already have. Also, if you have the R3 Pro, I don't recommend getting the 1.6, which just came out, because it it has a bug when you go to the icon on the very corner that shows what you're currently listening to. The screen gets all buggy. So what you do, let me turn it on, just to show that the touchscreen is not it's not working after turning it on. What you do is you get the firmware, whichever firmware you want, and then you add it to the root directory folder in your memory card. You see how it's not working? And normally, to upgrade the firmware, you have to go inside the player settings. So the way I do it is you power the device off, then you press the volume up button and then the power button at the same time until the logo comes up. Then you let go. The firmware will update. After it's done, it'll turn on again. And now the touchscreen works. Everything works like normal. There's no issues with it. You can even do that. It works exactly like it used to. The bug with the 1.6 is when you go here, this screen after a while, uh, it won't display correctly. So I guess that's a new issue with the firmware. Now this fix will only work until you restart the player. So to keep the player on without restarting, you have to set the idle timer. I set it to 1 minute. What the idle timer does is that after you don't use it for a minute, it will enter a low power mode. You can verify this. I turned off the light, but there's usually a light here. And if you don't touch it for a minute, the light will turn off, showing that the device entered like hibernation mode. There's a sleep timer, but I don't recommend using that because that will turn it off. After a while, for some reason, like an hour, the player will turn off. Standby has to be also enabled. Also, when you're charging the device, after a while, it will also turn off, so you have to restart it with the firmware. There's no way around that either. Okay, so now it's working. I'm gonna turn it off again. And then I'm gonna turn it back on, just to show that the firmware doesn't really fix the issue. Doesn't permanently fix it. You see, touchscreen is not working again. Let me do it one more time just to show that it will temporarily fix it. Volume up, power button. I've also seen that this problem is also happening to the R6. and since they're different models, they don't share the same firmware. So I think it's an OS issue, and for now, I think the only permanent fix would be to send it back to Hiby so they can reinstall the operating system. And it works again. So basically, when you do this, as long as you don't turn it off, the player will function normally. And these players, in when you enable the idle, the battery, uh, if you don't use it, it will last about a month. If you use it, obviously you have to recharge it. It will turn off again, but that's how you re make it work again. This temporary fix would be, I think, is the only option for people who are out of warranty. If you have a player that just you uh, stop working, it's better to do this and to leave it bricked, because I don't think you can use it without having the touchscreen work. Other than that, I hope PB releases an update to fix this issue. But for now, that's pretty much what you have to do.